Hello and welcome to Scrap Rack. I am Cindy and today we are going to talk about paper beads. It's going to be a messy craft if you craft along, just fair warning. And I had done a video a while back, one of my first videos actually, on paper beads and the book page stuff. I will link this one below. Those are fun and easy. These are using up your scraps. And if you do junk journaling, you usually end up with pieces of paper like this. If you tear down your copy paper or your coffee dyed paper to make them fit inside your journal. So we have scads of these, and I am going to show you how to color them very fast, very easy. And if you don't have strips of paper, copy paper, if you don't end up tearing yours down like I do, or you don't actually make journals and you just want to make the ephemera, sometimes when you make folios and things, you end up with little strips of paper like this. And you can also use these, or you can use just plain old book page, and I'll show y'all one of those too. But the scrapbook paper, little strips of scrapbook paper, turn out like these guys. These are all made from scrapbook paper. This one has gold foil on it. You can use gold foil. I don't suggest it unless you do not have any type of even a mild OCD, because this stuff is extremely messy. These are made out of book page, and these are the colored ones. These are quite large. I will put the embossing powder, the thick embossing powder on them. It makes them a little bit more sturdy, because when you use something really big, this was a pencil. And I'll show y'all how to do all these in a second. But when you use something large for the whole, it weakens the paper unless you use a long strip of paper. But these are all just colored paper. So we're going to go through and show y'all how to do that. Okay. As I said, this is a messy craft. So if you don't have sprays, I will make a video. Actually, you can find them all over YouTube, but I will eventually make a video on how I make mine. I kind of tweaked mine over the years a little bit. These have mica in them, and sometimes they don't want to spray, but we'll see. We're going to play nice. Okay. So we're just gonna kind of spray them. You want to focus more on the ends, because that is where you will have your, actually we're gonna tear the tip of this one off, because I want the book page all the way to the end. And this one, because it's in a triangular shape, it will have more of the look like this one. It will kind of show more of the page as you roll it. So this one you can have a lot of fun with. We may cut one of these wider ones. May cut one of them down to kind of see what happens. Now sometimes these take quite a long time to dry, so I have some that are already sprayed and drying. We may put this one to the side so we can try and use him if he dries. So we're going to put these to the side and use the ones that I have that are already ready. Yeah, so we end up with strips like this. And if you haven't seen my other video, you can use all kinds of things. You don't necessarily need a quilling needle, I believe they're called. I actually use cotter pins. Oh, here's another one that I did. It's not dry. It's got fingernail polish for dots on it because, I don't know, I was feeling extra again. So you can use cotter pins, and this is a cotter pin. Let me find a really large one so you can see. I do not suggest using ones this large, but you can. But this is a cotter pin. And they come in all sizes. I think I have them down to teeny tiny, even in here somewhere. Here, there's one. Down to this one. And the size of the cotter pen, not the length doesn't really matter. It just, you can use a wider piece of paper. But the size of the cotter pen is going to depend on the size of your hole. So anything that you wrap it around is going to depend on the size of your hole. So you take a pencil and you wrap your paper. Your hole is going to be that big. So you take a tiny little cotter pen and you wrap your hole is going to be that big. Hopefully you can see that. So we're going to use just a medium size one. Now you can slide it in between the cotter pen. They open up, you can slide it in between them. I'm not going to do that today because it takes a minute and we're just going to fly by the seat of our pants today. So we're just going to take it, and you can either stick it in there or wrap it around a skewer, a dowel if you have one. You basically want to take it and wrap it to where you cover up your paper just a hair, and then you're going to put some glue down. If we can get the glue to cooperate. We're going to put it down and we're going to wrap. You go a little bit farther and then you can put a little glue down. You don't have to cover it. It's just trying to, you just want to kind of try to keep it on itself. You know, the tension is also going to help keep it on there. And you do want to roll it kind of tight, but not so tight that you can't get it off whatever you're wrapping it around. And I'll do one with the insertion of the cotter pen so you can see the difference. And that one just slides right off. So that is our colorful bead. Okay, and we can also take and tear the ends of them. And take another cotter pen. We'll take this one. And this one's still kind of damp, so hopefully it doesn't rip. It could. If it does, it'll be okay. You slide it in there. Yeah, this may be a little bit too damp. Let's see. This one's a little bit better. This one's better. So we're just going to tear the end of that one off so I can show you the difference in them. It kind of blends better if you tear it. So it's inserted in there. And again, we're just going to wrap. And we're just kind of using our finger. We're not trying to pull it super tight. We're just going to take it and we're just going to wrap it on there. Just going to go down a little bit. Now, if I was actually quilling, of course, I would be more careful about lining the edges up. These are beads, excuse me, for a junk journal, so I'm not too concerned about it. I want them to look very handmade and rustic, so we're not too concerned about the ends of them. A little bit, but not overly concerned. And that is the difference between the edges. If you tear and if you don't tear, it looks like a bead. It looks like you took time and colored the whole thing and put a lot of thought and effort into it. Okay, now you end up, if you put it on the cotter pen, you end up with something like this. We're just going to put him over there and sacrifice him. He's just going to be messed up if he's not dry. So you go in where you have this little curl. You go in and you go the opposite way that you spun it. And you'll know because you'll either unspin it or you'll get the whole flat. Excuse me. And you can take these ends and you can dip them in paint, or you can dip them in ink if you want, or you can just leave them like that. We're probably just going to leave them like that. So, want to show you, if you take, let's take a short one. How dry are we? We're dry-ish. How about you? We're going to take you and we're going to cut you like this. If you take triangles, this may be a little short. We're just going to use this. If you take triangles and you basically do the same thing. This is, it's not an equilateral. Can't remember what kind of triangle this is called when one side's straight and one side's crooked. But I need to look that up. Obtuse? Maybe obtuse. I think it may be obtuse. Let me know if you're a triangle nerd like I used to be. I used to know all the shapes. But as you get older, you forget certain things. All right. And that is one that's done with a triangle. This is a flat piece of paper. That one's a little bit better. This one's a flat piece of paper, and this one's a triangle. You kind of get more of the barrel and more of a, I don't even know what kind of you would call that, like a tube bead, a barrel and a tube. Sure, we're going to go with that. Okay. We are going to go, actually we have this one to do. It shows the, yeah, we'll do this one. And this one shows that it was a piece of book page. Let me show you how I did this one. Piece of book page. Just took a piece of book page and tore it. And then let's do it this way so we can see how big we're making it. And you come over and you tear it. It's not exactly, that one's, again, it's straight. Okay, let's do it at an angle. Come on, Cindy. You can do this. I have faith in you. Okay, there we go. Obviously, don't do them this large, but I wanted to make sure that I had some large enough to where y'all could see what I was doing. The thinner you make the paper, the more delicate your bead will be. So you can kind of gauge on what you're wanting your beads for, or if you're just wanting to have fun and just make them large and use up some of that scrap. You'll find a use for them eventually. You could even make a necklace out of them if you wanted to. I have a thing for paper bead necklaces. None that I've made, but if I find them at antique stores, I have to buy them. I love them. Maybe I should make one with bookpage. That'd be kind of cool. But you just keep on rolling. And the reason I tore the end of that off is because I didn't want that blunt end. Not only was it blunt, but it was also white from the end of the book page. You know, it has the white at the top. I didn't want that on here. I wanted it to blend and to still have the lettering on it. And there is another one. And when you roll them around something as opposed to putting them in the cotter pen, they don't need to have the middle straightened out. Although it is easier to slip them in the cotter pen. Just going to say that. Okay, so this one's kind of wonky, but you know what? We're going to roll it and we're going to see what we get. because you can use any scrap, even if it's a wonky scrap, you can still use it and make your paper beads. And these I would take and, like I said, the one with the foil, I'm going to take and use the thick clear embossing powder that I have. You could also paint them with clear fingernail polish. You could use resin on them if you have UV resin. The fingernail polish works wonderfully. I will show you some out of the original video that I did that had some fingernail polish on it. Okay, let's get the tip stuck down. And then I will show you, you can use any type of scrap. Now, your hands are going to get messy like this if you're using something with mica in it. So, because the mica, even though it's in the spray, it will still come off. Okay, this one has a hole in it. Guess what? We can still use it. We're still going to use it. And we're going to use it on the end that we're going to see. Oh, no. So, just to show you guys, we can use any scrap. The scraps that we don't think that are usable, we can still use them. Not that I save every scrap, but it's a good way to just sit and relax and use up some of that scrap that you're like, oh, I'll find a use for it. I'll find a use for it. Well, here's your use. This, and I have a couple more of, I guess they're scrap busters. I don't know. They're just ways to use up your scrap. And I think I'll make the other in another video. Just gonna take it and make sure it's good and sealed. And obviously you guys would take a little bit more time with your glue. But there you go. He has a hole in him and he still looks like a bead. Just a little bit of texture in there. Kind of cool. If your paper was really, the texture on it was different. Let's see. I've got a small punch I can grab real quick. Yeah, let's use this side. Okay. That way the colors will be different and you can see the difference. Sometimes it helps to curl the paper to kind of get it cooperating. And we're just going to roll them around. And we're just going to keep on going. And this is not art glitter glue that I'm using. This is Elmer's Craft Bond, which is a fast drying, but it's not like super fast. That way, in case you mess up, you can kind of pull it back off and kind of give yourself a little bit of grace with it. Now this one is kind of wonky because, well, I rushed through it. That's okay. Just want to show you that with something that is really textured, you can, or really different colors, you could show off that there is a hole in it and have a different kind of texture in it. Put some colored fingernail polish over the top of it. Let's do that real quick. Shall we? Yes. Yes, we shall. Hopefully this is not too, let's test it real quick. That may be okay. We don't want something that's too opaque because otherwise it's going to cover it. Oh, this is going to sort of cover it. Some of it will show through. Should have used like a glitter. That would have been better. Maybe we'll do glitter on the other one. That one's a little bit on there. There's spots of it where you can still see. This one may get some dots and stuff on them. But you can kind of see through it some places and not others. So that one I'm not real happy with. I don't like when you can't see that it's paper underneath. But maybe that's what y'all want. So let's see, glitter. Yep, this one. Let's do this one with some glitter on them. See if the glitter catches in the hole. No, not really. But at least I can show you that you can cover them with fingernail polish. And you could take, and while this is still damp, you could wrap fibers around it and make it really cute. Let's see if I've got any that I can grab real quick. Make sure we're in the shot. Oops. Oops. There we go. Get them stuck down in there. May not be on thick enough to grab it all. And you can give them a haircut after the fact. But there's one with fibers on it. Okay, we're going to set him up over here. And then we are going to do one more because I wanted to show you that, let's see, I'm gonna use this one. Wanted to show you that you could take and do kind of a wavy, I guess. Do it faster. And we're going to tear the end of this one off. Yeah, and if you don't like the way that they turned out, like that one, white wrap fibers around it. You can take some scrap lace and wrap around it. You can take the little bits and pieces that you cut off when you make your tags. You can take, if you sew, you can take the little strings that you always end up with. If you're crazy like me, you may have a bowl by your sewing machine and save them, because sometimes I put a spot of glue on when I'm making clusters and stuff, and I plop a little cluster of sewing string on it. Yeah, but you could tear a piece of book page off and wrap a certain word around it that you wanted. Oh, that's kind of a cool idea, actually. So maybe we'll try that with this one. I know I said one more, but hey, thought of something else. That's the way crafting works. Okay, so we have that. Let's just pull something off of here. Is there any how about look? Yeah, look. going to take, just to show you, you can use one of the wonky pieces of paper that you have for scrap, and it still turns into a bead. So we're going to take right across here. It's where the least amount of color's at. That's where we're going to put it. And we're just going to put, look, and put them on there kind of wonky. Why not? Wonky still works. And if you used a glue that grabs just a hair faster, it would hold it down a little bit better. Or if you took your time and actually got the glue underneath where you're trying to glue. But you can do that. And then when we cover it with the embossing powder, it will stay down and it'll be nice and shiny. And yeah, so these are some of the ones that we made today. Lots and lots of messy little guys. And this one may be dry. Yeah, it's kind of dry. This one I just put, gonna end up with fingernail polish all over me. I dipped the ends of it in some spray that was on here, right here. A glob of spray, and then I took and put dots on it with fingernail polish. This kind, these little skinny ones. You used to be able to get them at Dollar Tree. Not sure if you still can, but I'm sure they sell them other places. They have a really thin brush. They're for like nail art. I've had them for eons. So I don't do my nails anymore, obviously. I still do my toes, but we're not showing those. Okay, so that is that. And these are some of the other ones that we made. And hopefully you try the paper beads and you have fun doing it. And maybe you can share them with your friends when you share your journals, and spread some joy. And go out and spread some joy today and love one another. And have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed rest of your day. And just wanted to say thank you to each and every single one of you. All my new subscribers, my old subscribers, everybody who's been here from the get-go. Just want to say thank you very much. And I am very grateful for you. So much love, guys. Bye-bye.